very much. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I want to tell you about an experience I had about 12 years ago as I was serving as an assistant scoutmaster for a troop, a local troop, which will remain anonymous. You'll understand why in a minute. And I ended up at the emergency room of AI DuPont with three 12-year-old Boy Scouts because they had to get rabies shots. Now, I don't know about how many of you are aware of what a rabies shot was like 12 years ago, but they're not pleasant. And the reason for this is because we had been at summer camp and they had discovered that bats were roosting in the cabin these young men were sleeping in. And the CDC required anybody exposed to bats would have to have rabies shots just in case the bat had bitten them and they didn't know it. Which I don't know if that seemed a little odd to me. I think I'd know. But these are Boy Scouts. After the second day, they all kind of go feral anyway. So wouldn't have been something they'd noticed. So we're sitting there, myself, another adult leader, and three boys. We sit there for about 90 minutes. By now it's about 10 o'clock at night when they finally call us back into the treatment area where there is a hospital bed sitting over here. And there are 5 chairs here. And they pull the curtain around us. And we sit down, and the one adult leader is at that end, and I'm at this end. The 3 boys are in between us. And they're kind of laughing and snickering and thinking, well, this is kind of cool, you know, this is going to be fun. And the nurse comes in, wheeling a little cart, and there's a towel over the top of it. And she says, okay, who's first? And I'll say these kids' names were Tony, Stephen, and Danny. Tony's kind of the leader of the gang. He gets up and says, I'll go first, you know, and they all are laughing. And the nurse says, you have to drop your pants because this is a shot that we have to give in the butt. Well, that stops them for a minute. But 12-year-olds, but it works. You know, they start to laugh and snicker again, and she has him go to this side of the table so that we're not actually forced to look at his butt. Because again, it's three days they've been feral, so they're a little icky. Anyway, so he sits at the end of he drops his pants a little bit, and the nurse whips that towel off, and I swear to God, these syringes look like they're this long to me. And he hasn't seen them. They're behind him, but these 2 guys are looking at it. Their eyes go. The nurse comes up. This is refrigerated serum, and it's about as thick as maple syrup. Oh, it's horrible. Yeah, that's what I thought. And, you know, and Tony's going, oh, yeah, come on. It on. And the nurse is, okay. She sticks that needle and he hollers. I felt so bad, I really did. And you know, they gave this shot. Then they take a Band-Aid with a little happy face on it, stick it on there. He stands up, and the 2 guys over here are going, how was it? And Tony says, it was okay. Takes 1 step, passes out. Suddenly, from everywhere, nurses and doctors and crash carts. It looked like ER on TV, you know, all these, everybody's around, and it's pandemonium. Chaos, I'll work that in. Chaos everywhere. All these doctors, and there must have been 9 of them, are all working on him and looking at him, and you know, and he's already starting to come around. He kind of slumped. He didn't just fall flat. And they're all looking, we're all looking over here, and all of a sudden I realize, I wonder how these guys are doing. I turned just in time to see them both starting to rise up. They're going to run. Luckily, the other adult leader had noticed the same thing. We exchanged quick glances. I put a hand on one. He put a hand on the other. No, you're not going anywhere, brother. This is going to happen. They sat there, and I mean, they start to tear up, and you just feel horrible. It really isn't funny. It's funny now, but at that time, it wasn't too funny. Tony gets up. He's fine, and he kind of wobbles back over and sits down. He's lost a lot of that original vigor. Steven's next. He goes around. He's like shaking. I had to help him around. They drop his pants, and the nurse looks at me and says, "He has no butt." And he didn't. He was built like this. Well, what am I supposed to do? I can't grow one. So she pinches what she thinks might be a butt and hits him with the needle. And then he cries out, but he doesn't pass out. So we're improving here. Takes another happy sticker, sticks it on him. And then Danny is next. Same situation, except he has a butt, so he's able to take the shot, and they put the happy sticker on him. Finally, it's after midnight. These very sedate young men, no longer happy, no longer carefree, and not making any butt jokes at all. We walk out, drive the hour and a half back to camp. The sun is almost coming up, it's so late. But the cool part of this story, I wasn't sure what this was going to do to those young men, but in fact, all three of them not only stayed in Scouts, but they all became Eagle Scouts. Thank you.